I remember vividly Danny's opening talk to the school. You'll hear from this year's President Elliott Green in a couple weeks. Danny claimed that he had probably been engaged in more different sports than any student in Belmont Hill history. In first form year, he tried out for football, hockey, and baseball. By ninth grade, he'd also tried soccer, squash, and tennis. The upper school brought cross country, wrestling, maybe lacrosse. I can't remember all the details, but Danny's conclusion was that in trying all these sports, he had proven that he was quite possibly the worst athlete in Belmont Hill history. Yet Danny offered this with a smile, for his point was that Belmont Hill offers lots of opportunities. I want to take Danny's good-humored point and recast it this morning. More than talking about opportunities at Belmont Hill, I want to talk with you about the virtue of taking advantage of those opportunities and the virtue of sometimes falling short. As you start into this new year, I urge you, don't be afraid to try something, perhaps something new, and to fall short. I want you to think about the virtues of trying, of participating, of taking a risk and trying something new. I promise you that if you do this, you will not fail. You may fall short, but you will not fail. Let me start with a few words, especially for you boys in the middle school, and particularly you boys who are new to Belmont Hill. Simply for you as a student, Belmont Hill will be setting expectations which are new for many of you. For one thing, you may have more work than ever before, so the volume will be new. At a different level, teachers may well expect higher quality work than you have produced in the past. Yet there is still more. We expect you boys to speak up in class, to wrestle with ideas. Even if you are in the first form, sitting around the Harkness table, we expect you to take increasing responsibility for your own education, including talking with adults, faculty, as fellow participants in class discussion. Few students are smart enough or talented enough to do these things flawlessly from the beginning. The point is that you need to try. And if you try, you will be fine. For that is all we can or should ask of you. But we will ask it, and even expect it over time. So too in sports and other activities. Some of you boys will be engaging in sports that you have played for as long as you can remember. Others will be putting on the pads today in football, for example, for the first time. Some of you will try out for the fall play because you love doing theater and have done it for years. Others may be thinking about trying it as a new activity. I urge you to try, to participate, and you'll be fine. And remember, no one expects you to be good at all these things at the beginning. Success in any area takes work, whether it is playing the piano or playing soccer, acting or painting or writing. I urge you to be patient. I got a wonderful reminder of this in a book I read this summer. The author reminded us what it's like to watch a toddler learning how to walk. If we made a decision about a baby's likely chances of success from early efforts, we'd all give up. But of course we know that kids can learn to walk. It just takes more time for some than others. So if you are not yet a good writer or singer or baseball player, be patient and stay with it. To push you harder, try this idea. Anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. I know that's not what you're used to hearing, but think on it. If something is truly worth doing, then it is perhaps worth doing poorly, for you can and will get better. I also want you to realize that who you are now is not who you will be by the time you graduate, in 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or even 6 years. You will change, and so may your passions. We on the faculty like to remember Mike DeSanto, who came here as a soccer, hockey, and baseball player, and who left as captain, football, wrestling, and crew. Or Eric DiNardo, who came here as a hockey player and is now a professional singer, guitarist, and songwriter. You don't need to know now what you will end up loving to do and doing well, so stay open. I offer this same message with different shading for you upper schoolers. As you fourth form boys move into the upper school, you'll be welcomed into a new realm of activities, programs, opportunities. There may be areas where you may not yet be great at something, but I urge you to try them. or continue to try them. I offer this for all the upper school boys, whether fourth form or older, in relation for trying out for teams and accepting with good grace that not everyone can be a starter on the varsity. And the JV teams offer great opportunities for play and fun as well. Or you may not be in B flats, but you can sing in the Glee Club. Part of why I'm pushing you on this is because there can be great joy in participating, in trying something new, and doing it with others. Part of it also comes because I, and I think many of us on the faculty, worry greatly about a push towards specialization that is pressuring you boys more and more to find one and only one thing to do, often to the exclusion of others. Let me emphasize, the school does not believe in exclusive specialization at the cost of having a full and rich and balanced life. This is a school where you can be a student and an athlete and a musician or actor or artist. Don't let external pressures put unnecessary and even destructive pressures on you to limit your focus. Life's too short. Yet I also urge you to try to participate, even if you may fall short, for one other reason. I worry that all you boys are in danger of being trapped by success. How can success be a trap? Let me explain. Each of you boys has a wealth of talent, a wealth of ability in many areas. You wouldn't be part of the school if that were not the case. So I worry, ironically, that your successes may make you reluctant to engage in activities where you may not succeed, where you may, yes, fall short. But I want to offer a perspective that comes from the experience of living in a bigger world. The fact is, gentlemen, that no matter how good you are at something, there are always people better than you. And I offer a personal story. One of the best things that ever happened to me was getting crushed in my first semester in college. I came to Harvard from a suburban Chicago public high school. I was a pretty good student until I hit a new level of demands and expectations and got my grades for the first semester, B's and C's. I was a pretty good high school athlete, school records and state meet competition in track and field and all that. And then I got to college and realized that my talent wasn't special. It was not an easy year, but I learned a tremendous amount about myself, about how talented some other people are, about how to measure success, about deciding what was important to do, and even what I liked to do. It turned out I did reasonably well in college, academically and athletics and other activities. But more importantly, I learned that it was okay to try new activities, that success in any area took hard work, perhaps harder than I had understood before. That there are some people who are always going to be smarter and more talented than I. But also that if I were willing to try my best, even if I fell short, I wasn't failing, and I was going to be fine. So on you go to your new school year. For some of you, you are starting not just a new school year, but a new school. I wish you well, and I remind you that you have a remarkable faculty that is going to support as well as challenge you. Don't be afraid to take up those challenges in areas both familiar and new. For you returning students, I urge you too to engage and dive in. Life is short, and there are not infinite chances to begin afresh. School, this school, offers that opportunity. I urge you to grab it with both hands, and best wishes for a great new year. Gentlemen, I wish you well as we go. I know